Welcome to Backcountry Uncovered, the show where we take the mystery out of backcountry adventures and show you how to get started exploring the wilderness around you. We follow a group of recreational mountain enthusiasts with input from professional mountain guides, providing insight and commentary on the adventures. In this episode, we head to Kaslo, BC for a day of backcountry ski touring in search of bottomless powder and fresh lines. Kaslo is located along Kootenay Lake in southeastern British Columbia. After a long drive from Calgary and a ferry across Kootenay Lake, the group arrived at the cabin for the trip.
I'm thinking we'll be going up into this Retallick area off of the Highway 31A between Kaslo and New Denver. We have the Abbey forecast here. What do we see? What are the problems?
Storm slabs, new snow, faceted layers underneath, or potentially go and possibly step down.
Sea levels 600 meters in the morning, high of 900 meters. So I think the highway is around about 1,000 meters. So
yep.
Sounds like we should be in the freezing zone all day.
Yeah, we should be good for
excellent news.
That's good.
Tomorrow I want to get some beautiful powder turns. We're going to do it safely, and we're going to be doing analysis and discussion as a group on the snowpack as well. There will be various safety points that we'll discuss, and this all happen in a step-by-step process as we encounter them.
We have some new group members, so folks that I haven't skied with before, which on the one hand is really great because it's a lot of new conversation opportunities, which is, a big part of being in the mountains for me is chatting with others. But also folks that I'm not sure what their risk tolerance is. And sometimes folks see a slope and they get really excited about it. And so personality is really, I think, the human factor that we're going to be working with tomorrow might be our biggest challenge. Even though we think it's the terrain, it could be how we're going to reevaluate as we go.
The human factors in social sciences research has just exploded in the last decade. And that's one of the critical parts of moving safely through terrain, being able to temper your ambitions. And we teach on the professional level one, the acronym FACETS, human factors, familiarity. Oh, I've been here 100 times and I've never seen an avalanche. Acceptance. Well, everybody else seems okay with it, so I'll go with it. Commitment. I drove for 12 hours to get here. We are going to do it. And, more and more and more, we're realizing these are big keys in accidents, not just the snowpack, but all of these human factors. And each one of the letters and facets talks about a human factor.
You get to think a lot more when you're out there. It's not just, all right, let's take the lift up, go back down and do laps upon laps. It's actually getting out there thinking what's the best line, what's the safest approach, and what'll get you the best exhilaration from the day. I'm excited to do some snowpack analysis, get back into the swing of things for the area so I can do this more often over the next couple months.
Tomorrow, as far as I'm concerned, the only thing that matters is that everybody comes home safe, and that is a good day in the mountains.
We've parked the cars on Highway 31A and we're getting ready for our ski tour for the day. Due to the considerable avalanche hazard, we've decided to avoid London Ridge, which is higher exposure, and we're going to go do some north-facing cut blocks just on the south side of the highway. There's no big major slide path and not a lot of overhead exposure other than the cut blocks themselves, which we'll be skiing.
The decision to go even more conservative, if you will, is definitely the right way to go. You have to leave yourself open and don't get committed to an objective just because you chose it in the first place. You can change your mind the night before, you can change your mind the morning of a tour, and you can change your mind with each and every footstep. In that, if I don't like something, if I suddenly get a whoomph in the snowpack, there's nothing that says that I can't actually do a kick turn and go right back the way I came.
Before we embark on our tour today, we'll have a little a safety briefing. I always carry in my pack a first aid kit and a splint. Does anyone have a personal locator beacon?
I have one. It's in the top of my pack.
Okay, great. We're going to set a turnaround time. We probably should be skiing down by 2 o'clock. It'll allow us 2-3 hours before dusk. So let's go do a beacon check.
Avalanche transceivers are used in avalanche scenarios to find a buried partner. Emergency beacons use a GPS signal to contact search and rescue authorities. It's important to check that they are in good working condition before leaving the trailhead. As the group ascends, they're looking for changes in weather and signs of natural avalanche activity in the area.
We're at about 1,600 meters at the barefaced cut blocks. We're at the top cut block and we'll be skiing these down. So we thought we should do a bit of analysis here and see what some of these wind slabs, see how reactive some of them might be. And yeah, because we're going to be going higher up into the mature timber for some nice powder skiing. But in the exposed stuff here, we're going to ski that too. So we want to check it out and do a little bit of analysis. So we're going to do an extended column test. And I'm going to cut out a chunk here. It'll be a 90 centimeter wide block by 30 centimeter deep. Okay, Joe, you got a hand hold there. We're going to slice it straight down, just saw it back and forth. Just pull it straight down. Saw it back and forth. If you can observe here and watch, if you see any cracks or any fracture, as I'm doing this, that's what we want to make note of anything that happens in this column. Okay, because that's the idea. It's going to apply some force here and we'll see how the propagation goes across the block. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10 easy ones. Nothing happened other than a little bit of slough here. So from the elbow we'll do 10 moderate ones. Down about 55 we have a propagation, and also right here too, right? 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so there's definitely a slab there. So we're at moderate, and we've got, you know, a couple of wind slabs there. That's fine. Basically, the avalanche bulletin was considerable, so we're going to stick to lower angle terrain. And the reason we did this at the top cut block was because, of course, we're going to ski these cut blocks on the way down, but we're going to climb up and enjoy some nice powder skiing through the mature timber. The big reason we chose this destination to ski today is because there's no overhead hazard other than the cut blocks themselves. You got mature forest above the cut block, and we're at the top of one. So unlike across the valley at London Ridge, where we would be exposed all the way to some steep overhead, there's not as much overhead here, and I'm more comfortable with it. So we finished our analysis on the snowpack test here, and I think it's a good idea to you know, fill it all in so nobody wipes out on the pit, because we're going to be skiing back down here.
Typically, if I get a bad result that may alter my behavior to be more conservative. If I get a good result that is not in keeping with all of my other observations, then that result is probably wrong, and I may have dug in an unusual place where the problem that I'm looking for doesn't exist. Now, having said that I really don't base my decision making on a single test. Is it valuable to do tests? And the answer is absolutely it is. I don't allow a good test to sway my behavior and become more aggressive when the avalanche hazard is considerable. My test is probably wrong, rather than the bulletin being wrong. More likely the bulletin is correct, and less likely am I going to override the bulletin on the basis of a single test.
We've climbed up through all of the logging roads and switchbacks and the cut blocks. And now we're finished with that. We're above that in some mature timber forest here, which goes all the way to the summit of this mountain. How do we know where we are and where we want to go? One of the most important aspects, of course, of being in the mountains and navigation and route finding. Very important. And how do we do that? Well, I find the most important thing is to have a map. Topographic maps will give you information such as elevation contours and terrain features. But what I like using in addition to a paper copy of a map, and I use my cell phone with the topographic maps loaded already, so we can find out exactly where we are in relation to your surroundings, and we can see the topographic features. Right now we know that we are on a heavily timbered shoulder of this mountain. As long as we can stay on the shoulder by looking at the map, we're okay.
If we have very dense trees that are difficult for an intermediate skier to ski through, those trees are probably acting like anchors for the snowpack. But if the trees are so widely spaced that an intermediate skier can easily tool through them, then that slope can still avalanche, and those trees may actually be hazards as opposed to being anchors. So open slopes, generally you go, well, big open slopes in the alpine or a tree line, likely to be a little bit more hazardous situation.
Okay, we're at around 2,000 meters. We've made it to the top of our run that we want to do for today. It's time to go down, and yeah, looks like a great powder run.
Pairing up for the descent and remaining within sight and hearing of each other is important in case one partner falls in a tree well, gets injured, or is caught in a slide.
Today we went out for a great ski tour. It was nice and warm out today, but not too warm. The snow was actually incredible, and coming from the Rockies, it was really nice to see how much snow there is. And it seems a lot more consolidated and a lot less faceted, a lot less things to actually worry about. So it was really nice to see that.
You know, the type of skiing we did, we skied, you know, some exposed cut blocks, and we skied the mature forest above the cut blocks. You know, given the AVI bulletin with the hazard rating at considerable, you know, we checked, we did snow tests in each area that we were skiing. We had moderate results with propagation in the cut block, and we had hard results with propagation in the forest. We thought it was wise to ski moderate angled terrain, and we didn't see any problems with that. Everything worked really well.
Every trip I take with a crew that I'm not familiar with, like, you have to sort of get creative in how you work with everyone, and it's not always super easy to just jump right in and do a big trip with people that you don't know. So it's, throughout the day you get more comfort seeing how they react to certain situations, and makes you feel comfortable.
I'm definitely going back. I'm really stoked on this spot because it's some nice, fairly low risk touring, pretty close to where I live. A little concerned about how my fitness was going to be yesterday. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm in better shape than I thought. I was a little tired crushing up towards the last couple steps there, but I definitely could have I made it all the way to the top. It was awesome.
I would qualify our ski quality, so I guess if you had from poor to amazing, I would qualify it as amazing. I thought it was really, really good ski quality. We had some good ski penetration on our downhill as well. So up high when we were skiing the large timber, it was kind of a protected area. So the wind effect was less, but we definitely did see some wind effect in that area, which did, in my opinion, cause the snow to be a little bit denser and a little bit heavier. So it wasn't like blower powder, but it was still it skied really, really nice. And we did have some sloughing on the way down, so some good low density snow, some nice powder turns.
Everybody, could ski. Everybody was fit and well conditioned, and there were no problems there. Can't say enough about the group. Everybody was respectful, and it was a terrific group to be with.
In backcountry pursuits, there will always be a degree of risk to health and safety, which can be mitigated by knowledge and experience. There's training and many courses offered by mountain guides and industry professionals. Backcountry equipment can be purchased at most local ski shops or rented from various providers. Subscribe and follow us for more adventures, and let us know if there's a backcountry trip you would like to see uncovered.